video was really about. Now, when I talk about New York being a major organ, we must understand that as above, so below. So when we're talking about the black market organ harvesting, they don't only harvest your organs and tag them with numbers based upon your physical organs, but they have states that we live in which act as major organs that they tag with zip codes, which is the numbers for those states. And remember that every organ has citizens living in it, which is different types of cells. They tell you that you only have two types of cells, but we have many different types of cells that think differently, but they communicate with each other. They have their own language. When you start to go to different time zones within certain organs, there are different time zones and dimensions. The heart could be the West Coast. The kidney could be the East Coast, but they all have different languages. So when you go to New York, their language is different. When you go to LA, their language is different. When you go down south, their language is different. These are different organs. So when I go into the video, I wanted y'all to know that, or give you a clear view of what I was talking about when I'm speaking about this. And by the way, I'm glad that I can actually assist most of the teachers in talking about some new stuff, because a lot of things that we are talking about, you get what I'm saying, as far as Africa and things of that nature, all that stuff is played out. It's time to elevate. It's time to manifest more deeper results when it comes to energy, when it comes to waking our people up, tapping into certain activation within our DNA. You get what I'm saying? So it's good to see teachers really talking about deeper metaphysics now, and I'm glad that I can assist most people into being able, and I'm not being arrogant, but what you do, your mind creates your environment. And my mind lately have been seeing a lot of identical energy as far as what I'm hearing. I'm not seeing with my eyes, but I'm seeing with my ears, and I'm hearing a lot of things that a lot of people is telling me, or they're calling me saying, you know what, you really made an impact. So I feel good when somebody young called me at the age of 15 to 16, 17 to 18 and say, we listen to your videos and you actually helped me to go further into my evolution as far as my thinking and my dimensions. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of things that I say is not for everybody, because a lot of people comment and say, you know what the hell is he talking about? Remember that everything is not for everybody. Just because I can eat seafood don't mean that the next person can. Somebody might have a negative reaction to it, and this is why the people that comment on it who don't understand it is so negative, because they're having a negative reaction to the information that I'm bringing. It's not for you. Move on and go eat some food that your body can take, your spiritual body can take, which is your mind. You get what I'm saying? So this video, when I talk about major organs and the zip codes attached to the major organs, this is what I'm talking about. So enjoy the video. I love y'all. Black Science TV 111, Osei Kufuor. I'm out. Peace. Yeah, I do have a new novel coming out. It's nonfiction titled The Reincarnated Seven. It's talking about the seven chakras, but it's also talking about how you have different people living in different dimensions, but they communicate through parallel universes. You get what I'm saying? All at the same time. But yeah, I'm going to talk about how the certain states that they conditioned us to see is more than what we call states. A state is what? A state of mind. It is a state of mind. And the mind dwells on dimensions and thoughts. So when we are talking about New York, for an example, New York is a major organ. Every organ is a thought. Everything in your body thinks, is a person, is an organism. You get what I'm saying? You can add genetically modified organisms, which will actually be man-made, like man-made states or man-made planets, because you do have man-made moons, man-made planets, and all of this stuff, which is in the form of satellites. Your government build planets in the form of satellites to suppress certain energies from getting into certain people, to be able to help them to transform into what they need to be at the time that certain mind states within these jurisdictions that we call states need to manifest. Now, when you're looking at New York is a major organ, right? And sometimes an organ can be so dirty to the point where it needs to detox. So what we are seeing going on in New York in the conscious community is a major detox. Why is that? Because the minds in that jurisdiction is being led by way of agendas. Agendas is a form of food. This is like a genetically modified organism. It's not real food. So therefore, when you are digesting the energy from the minds of these people who have agendas, the people in that jurisdiction become sick. And when these people become sick, unconsciously, there are certain things that will awaken in them and call out to Mother Nature. And Mother Nature will prescribe an energy for them to detox. So they are prescribed certain intelligence in that jurisdiction to detox, and they will become new people. How do they become new people? They will become new people by way of a person who will awaken and give them new information. The person don't necessarily have to be there. It could be somebody that's underground. And I ain't talking about in the form of humans. I'm talking about a person in the form of consciousness. They can meet you in your sleep. You can wake up tomorrow and have a whole new outlook on life, or what we call life. And by you having a whole new outlook on life, you will start to see things from a different perspective. You will start to even see yourself from a different perspective. You won't see yourself as a human no more. You won't see yourself as anything that's attached to a title, because then you will start to say, you know what? I'm tired of being attached to certain things to be looked at as a product, because the only thing that needs titles and labels is products. Do you get what I'm saying? And this is how I awaken. I just woke up one day and say, you know what? I'm tired of this. I'm not going to no longer label myself, because everything with a label is all going through the same situation with the same entity and oppressor. So therefore, why jump into one frying pan and then from one frying pan into another pot? It don't make no sense to me. You get what I'm saying? So we're not doing anything but putting ourselves to sleep even more. But now we have an energy that can actually pick up on the unconscious cry of the souls of the people in that major organ that we call New York, or in that major organ that we call LA, or in that major organ that we call Atlanta. These are major organs in the universe, because your brain is a body in itself, and it has major organs which contains or consist of cells. So therefore, we have people living in these organs that is being fed agendas and being pimped, and their souls are unconsciously crying out. No matter what they do, there's always something that you are a part of that you can't run away from. And you can't stop that part of you from crying out to Mother Nature, which is going to actually give you something that you need to detox the energy that is trying to attack you unconsciously in that area or jurisdiction. Now, when we're talking about states, we are talking about mind states. New York is a mind state, which is an organism. Atlanta is a mind state, which is an organism. You get what I'm saying? And this, depending on the state of mind, it depends on the dimension and the density that the people is on in that area. So when we're talking about different states, we are talking about different dimensions, different planets on lower levels. New York is a different planet on a lower level. Why? Because when you go into that area, those people in that area, whether they are black, white, or whatever, they have their different ways of being able to communicate with each other. When you go to Los Angeles, they have their different energy, which causes them to communicate with each other differently from those who are in New York. When you go to Atlanta, they communicate differently from those who are in California. You get what I'm saying? So therefore, you are looking at different dimensions with different energies, which cause people to act in a certain way or act in an alienated way. This is another form of extraterrestrialism. Do you get what I'm saying? Because the energies that is in that area, see, the thing is, we think that a state is just a place that you go to and it has a zip code. The zip code is the numbers which identifies the frequency of that area. I'm going to say that again. The zip code is the number and the state or organism which identifies the frequency of the state of mind or the state that you reside in. It's more than just the jurisdiction of the area where you live. Do you get what I'm saying? So you can go to certain states or mind states within the universe or within the earth, and you will be able to unlock and activate certain things inside of you. Do you get what I'm saying? So when we are talking about different mind states, we are actually talking about the equilibrium of a people who are ancient that is coming from underground to the top of the earth to cleanse the things that don't supposed to be there. And these ancient beings is in the form of energy and stars. Most are in the form of moons and suns. When I say when they are in the form, I'm talking about the equilibrium that they are distributing from their intelligence. This is what I'm talking about. You have people teaching in the form of intelligence, not human beings. A vibration or frequency can become physical. Why? Because it comes from a mind. The frequency and vibration comes from the mind and becomes a word or becomes an act. So the act can exist without the thought. New York is a thought. The thought became an organism. Do you get what I'm saying? It's just like you can create certain viruses in your body with a thought. You can create a virus in your body and make yourself sick just by initiating the thought, putting yourself on a certain equilibrium